I'm Kinlan Wheeler, and I'm here to talk about the most fascinating thing in my life and in my world, and that's the journey of enlightenment. I've come to know it as that, as this ever-changing perception in my life, and I feel as though what I share today will also be in process of change over time. I would say if I was going to use an icon or a map for this journey, I would use something called the Chicana, which is an Andean star and is a reflection of the Southern Cross in the night sky. And what I like about that Chicana is that it's sort of like a compass, and I use it as sort of a direction points system. And so as I see the Chicana there, I see in the bottom, I consider that the south, and I consider that the entry point. So the entry to the journey of enlightenment for me starts when I first started to realize that the world wasn't just happening to me. I think for a long time in my life, I thought that everything that was happening was just happening to me, and I was just supposed to respond to it or react to it or make do with it. And at one point, at some certain point, I realized that I wasn't just having that happen. I was actually making choices, and I started to take responsibility for those choices. So the first step, we become aware that we're making choices in our life, and we start towards this knowing of our empowerment, that we're touching others and they're touching us, and how we touch others, that we're responsible for that. And that brings us sort of into the West. We start to recognize that we're in relationship with a lot of other people, and that not only does their energy impact us, but that every day our energy is impacting other people. And therein lies sort of this ebb and flow that truly is relationship. It's community. It's how we know ourselves through knowing how we are with other people. It's how we start to take responsibility for our actions and our behaviors and their impact on others around us. So in a brief kind of journey around the wheel, we would say that the West is our place of community and recognizing sort of the energy of relationships. Beyond our community, beyond our culture, we start to sense a feeling in the West where maybe our culture isn't big enough and the cultural ideas aren't big enough for us to really know ourselves. They don't really fit all of our experience. And so we start to look at our beliefs. And when we start sifting through our beliefs, we start entering what I would call the north on the journey. The north leg of the journey is where we really look inside ourselves, and we start to sift through all our beliefs. And we start to recognize that, wow, some of our beliefs don't really serve us. And we're not sure we even believe in some of those beliefs. And so it's a great time of really going inside ourselves and really finding what we truly believe in. There's a hunger for it. At that part of the journey, there is like a hunger to know who we truly are, not just as someone's daughter, not just as someone in the community, not just as someone's partner or parent. We want to know who we truly are deep down inside. As we keep going in the journey, there becomes a balance between our knowing of ourselves in community in the West and our knowing of ourselves as an individual person in the North. And as those two facets of our human nature fill out, and they can do that, both of them are happening probably at the same time with different parts of our personalities. As we grow into our knowing of ourselves in relationship to other people, and some would say that our divine feminine is in relationship, in how we nurture and how we hold our power and how we are with other people. There's also a knowingness of who we are by ourselves as an individual, and those two begin to come together. And that is what really launches us into the East, is when we come into that place. We know ourselves in relation to others. We know ourselves how we nurture others. We know how we nurture ourselves, our individuality, our independence, our own thought and purpose. Those things start to come together, and we begin to then move into the energy of the East. Along that pathway, we're recognizing different aspects of our personality. We're doing some transformational work. Those processes over time of really owning all of my humanity has brought my ego into a place of rest. It's not getting excited about all kinds of things anymore. It doesn't engage with other people's things that they are working on or things that present themselves. There's a peace that comes, and the ego begins to come into a place of rest in the East. And this is where I believe truly that the soul comes more and more into conscious leading of our life. And so this last part of the journey seemed for me to be the integration of the soul into the physical human body. And in order for that to happen, what I've noticed is this process of owning our humanity, of really understanding that we own all the aspects of human nature within ourselves, that somehow prepares the body to then begin to hold the resonance of our divine nature. So I guess you could say that the journey of enlightenment, in a way, is a journey from our human nature, our very small self, our egocentric self, in a multifaceted, unfolding way, stepping into ultimately our divine nature, and that our divine nature holds within it all of our humanity, and then the beyond of that.